I have a feeling you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to groan because you're sick of hearing politicians use the word and the concept as the basis for their platform and as a way to try to get votes. Or you're going to be angry or just frustrated and you're going to try to argue your point, depending on whether or not the person who says it has a different point of view. But I'd like to know if anyone, when they hear the word, actually feels sad, because they're actually thinking about what that woman is going through and what made her feel like she had to have that. It's sort of three main reasons, but there are a few subs. And so the three that the pro-choice people, the pro-choice movement usually uses are rape, incest, and to protect the life of the mother. And so those are very extreme scenarios, and they use those as sort of justification, like, why would a woman have the child if she'd been through those three scenarios? There's also that sort of life circumstance. I wanted to show a clip, but I couldn't fit it in. There's this, if a woman is married, imagine, and she hasn't slept with her husband, imagine she has a lover, and she gets pregnant by the lover. She can't have that. She feels like she can't have that child because the husband is going to immediately find out, and who knows what the husband will do. Sometimes, usually, there's a socio-economic circumstance that she just literally cannot afford to have the child, or in some cases, she can't even afford the doctor, having the doctor, going to the hospital for checkups, even the vitamins, she can't afford that. That's how little she has. And often, this depends on age and where she is in life, everyone, sometimes, usually the family, and usually the father of the child doesn't want her to have it. And so it doesn't even matter what she thinks. It's just a matter of everyone else is telling her to. And if they throw her out of the house, if they ostracize her and she's got no one, of course she feels like the only thing she has to do is abort. But it doesn't solve actually any problem. And so, I use a lot of loaded words, I suppose, but I try to keep it as non-loaded as possible. And so it's not a political circumstance, it's not a matter of the concept of abortion. I'm talking about the real life situations, and that's what I'm going to show you today. And it's a very complex issue. That's what I'm trying to persuade you. It's not just a matter of pro-life or pro-choice or whatever you want to call it. That's not what it's about. It's about the woman, and it's about the problems that she's going through, because it's usually at least one problem that she's got that she can't surmount, and she feels that abortion is the solution, but it's never a solution. And so, I've heard this, I don't know how often this is anymore, but a very common thing is to just say that it's a mass of cells. The child, I have it later, it's the blastocyte, the zygote, the embryo, it depends on the state, the fetus usually later on. Just saying, oh, it's a mass of cells, it doesn't feel anything, it doesn't hurt anything, why does it have, this right to impose on the woman? It's a mass of cells, it doesn't feel anything. So that's what I've heard. But honestly, what I hate is that they say that as if it doesn't mean anything, the child doesn't mean anything. The problem is that the scientific definition of a cell is something that either is alive or was alive. And so something that's metal isn't a cell, but something that's wooden is from a tree that used to be alive. And so the sperm and the egg, everyone knows, they're living cells. The egg is a dormant thing, like a seed, it's dormant. And then the sperm swims. So those are living cells, they form the living cell, and the living cell develops. There's never this moment of, oh, it's not alive, it's not this thing, it's always something living. And biologically, evolutionary, there's so many threats to the child, because it's this tiny little helpless little thing. The woman is biologically driven to protect that child, to care for that child, to bond with that child. And so no matter what she may think, whatever everyone else around her thinks, the woman is biologically driven. Whatever she thinks, that doesn't matter, because she feels this connection to her child no matter what happens. And so if that woman feels sorry about having killed the child afterwards, everyone says, no, it's a mass of cells. It was your choice. It was your life. That's not enough. That's not psychologically enough. Psychologically, the woman is going for two types, usually. Two types of psychological problems at that moment. And so if the father doesn't want the child, if there was rape, if there was incest, if there were other circumstances around the pregnancy, having the abortion gets rid of the pregnancy, but it doesn't get rid of the trauma of having gone through those other problems. And because of the biological aspect, the woman also has this biological instinct of grief for that child. And so she can't reason that away. No one can reason that away for her either. And so if no one helps her, if no one, a shrink or someone to talk with is there for her, that's going to go through her head, and that doesn't go away. That is psychological torture. And so also, I don't know, I've never studied, I couldn't find enough statistics. I couldn't find studies of abortion clinics. I'm not talking about Planned Parenthood, I'm talking about abortion clinics. I don't know about you, but I don't think that they have psychotherapy. I don't think they send you to anyone who can help you out with that time of life problem that you're having. They don't usually help you out with if you can't afford it, if you're going to not be able to go to school, if you're going to lose your job. They don't have that. And so there's a Sisters of Life it's actually more than one. I thought it was just the one. There's a mission near my house, and so I'm there, and so I've met with them, and they're the sweetest things, and they help with the problems that the woman is having at that moment in time. And so if she doesn't have the money, if she is going to lose her job, or if they're going to throw her out of the house, or if she just simply doesn't have anyone to be there with her, there is somebody. There have been women who have gone through this, and they have these peers who can help her, and they have the nuns themselves who just talking to someone can help, because they're there, they don't judge, they listen to you, which often these women don't have. And even then, it's not a matter of protecting their life, it's also a matter of if the woman is going through this grief, they're there to help. They're there to heal. They have missions, they have retreats to make you feel like you're not alone, and no matter what you did, you don't have to go through this alone. It's not a bad thing. Okay, so 30 seconds. And so also there's just a matter of, they also don't connect you to anyone who would want the child. They're always just give it to an orphanage. Whenever it's adoption, it's this thing. Somebody wants the child. And that's what I hate about politicians. That's what they use. And they're like, oh, I don't like abortion, or we should have abortion. And it's not a matter of the woman. It's a matter of this concept. It's about the woman. It's about problems that she's going through. And if they wanted to help a woman, they would do that. They don't. But if you're there, if you know someone, or if you've been through that, you recognize it, you have to help someone. Like, you have to help the woman. Those are, I'm sorry, I can't get through these. But it's just a matter of helping that woman at that point in time, because usually she has a problem. She has no one to help her. I don't have